Third Eye Visions. My name is Anthony Parker, for those who don't know, and this is another edition of Promotional Time Sunday. I am glad to have you all here. I want to say that before I start the show, make sure to these new subscribers, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can get updates, and make sure to like, share, and comment. I have a very special guest this evening. I always have some special guests, but this one is a guest who has some very interesting, exciting topics to discuss on Promotional Time Sunday, and I'm glad to have her here. Um, Again, if you are interested in coming on, if you have anything that you would like to promote, whatever it is that you feel each and every one of us needs to know about, please contact me at parkeranthony225 at gmail.com. So without no more delay, I'm going to bring on Miss Amy S.P. Wilson, and she will be talking about the exciting things that she has for us today. Take it away, Amy.
Thank you, Anthony, for letting me be on Third Eye Visions. I love your channel, by the way, subscriber. So you definitely subscribe. Um, so,
Thanks.
as Anthony said, my name's Amy, and one of the things that I've currently been working on for the last year of my life is working with an organization called Strive for You, and it's the word strive, the number 4, and YOU. If you're wanting to look it up, .org. Just throwing that out there. Anywho, the organization is a nonprofit that's based out of Nashville, Tennessee. There is the founders, Ricky Jones and Christy Ray, who founded it because they wanted to offer adaptive sports to blind individuals. There's not, with the exception, I think, of USABA, there's really not another program out there that's sort of doing this. There's been more of a conversation, but in their experience, there needs to be more information out there. So that's one of the programs. And then in the last year, we've been working on developing a program that is called SEED, and it is Safety, Education, Empowering Defense. Basically what it is it's a safety education and self-defense program designed for the disabled by the disabled. It's not one of those programs that somebody just looked something up off of a website and was like, yeah, I'll roll with that. Or it actually has input from the disabled community. It wasn't something that sighted people are like, I think I can teach this, this style and it'll work. So we put a lot of time and effort into working through the techniques, figuring out what works, what doesn't, and what can students do at a beginner level, because we want this to be a skill-based type of learning, to where no matter where you're at on your skill level, it does not matter if you've had no self-defense whatsoever, or if you've have 10 years experience, you're going to get something from this program. And then, of course, one of the things that I'm excited about as an advanced instructor in the program, a little shout out to myself. I was the first advanced instructor. So I was, first girl. So I work with 3 other guys who are advanced instructors. So I'm the one female in the group. But anyways, but we plan on making more, developing more techniques to add to the program. And it's also one of the things that I think my advanced instructors get really excited about is these are techniques that were not just made up. These are actual martial arts techniques. We're not creating a whole new style of martial arts. It's a mixture of martial arts, which makes it nice. But we wanted to focus on people having constant contact and controlling the situation. For a majority of us in the blind and visually impaired world, we have more of what we call the incident situations or interactions, to where people come up and grab us and don't necessarily ask us before they grab us. Have you experienced that, Anthony?
Yes, I have, definitely, on numerous occasions.
Yeah, yeah. They come up and they're like, "Oh, you're public property. I'm going to help you." And it's like, "No, get your hand off me!" Like you want to scream, "Stranger danger!" Like that they teach us in school.
Yeah.
Um, so that that's the one thing we really want to help with. And the other part about the program is it's a holistic approach to both of these. So we're not just talking about physical techniques. That's not what like that's, I would say that's like 25% of the program. The other percent, we're talking about mental health, building your knowledge base so you're making better choices or decisions in situations, because we can give you all the techniques, we can teach you all these things, but if you're not empowered to take action, you might as well have not even have taken the class.
Hmm.
And as somebody, like my background is, and most people are like, when I throw it out there, they're like, "Oh, well, you're a badass," but that doesn't mean that it carried on through the rest of my life. So when I was 16, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to be on the first women's judo team for USABA, and I got to go to the World Championships for the blind. And that sounds super impressive. It really does. Like it's one of those things, like I look good on paper, but I'm also a domestic violence survivor, and so you know the mental aspect was not there for me to you know defend myself in that particular situation. And so I know for survivors, getting stuck in your head, PTSD triggers, like all these different things play a factor into how we're helping ourselves,
Hmm.
protecting ourselves. And so the program really encompasses all of those aspects. And even for me, like as we've developed it, I've started doing the some of the concepts and techniques that we've learned, and I'm actually using it in real life. Like it's not one of those things that we're just telling students, "Hey, do this." Like I've actually been doing it with the way we've set it up, and I found it so much easier because there's been other self-defense programs out there for the blind. And I get a lot of questions about that as program director of SEED on, well, isn't this one touch? It is not one touch. Um, and in that particular program, the idea was, once they put your hands on you, you need to say, please, don't grab me, or next time ask. But the problem with that is there was no information or process on how to get people to get from where they, typically don't say anything to where they actually have the I don't even know what word I'm looking for, but the ability to actually say something.
Right.
And it takes time. It's not one of those things that, you can just tell people, hey, somebody grabs you, just tell them take your hands off you. Like it doesn't work like that, because as blind people, we tend to we feel like we represent the blind community as a whole. And so if we're coming off rude, then they're, in our mind, it's like, well, they're just trying to be helpful, or we don't want to be known as the rude blind
That's true.
person. And
I've heard that
so we
before.
take, so we take the help, but at what cost to us? That it takes a toll day after day. When you're going out, and then I've talked with individuals that have had so many interactions like that where they don't say anything. They don't even want to get out of their house at a certain point. The thought of going out and dealing with people, they're like, nope, I'd rather just stay home. And that's a problem too. I feel like we need to get out there. We need to be like, hey, we're blind and we're
Right.
doing our thing.
Right.
So
Exactly. Independent. I like
um
that.
yeah,
Now,
that's and go ahead.
now I was going to ask, is this is a hands on type of instruction, right?
So the techniques part of our program is strictly hands-on. We will never do videos, you
Great.
walking you through the techniques or anything like that, and that's because of safety reasons. We don't want you to be like, oh, well, I learned this technique on a video, and then you turn around and get hurt. That's the last thing we want.
Mhm.
We are going to offer next month. I'm very excited. I'm working on hard on getting dates, but we're going to offer Zoom workshops
Ah.
for our safety education stuff.
Mm,
And then the ultimate plan is to have all of our safety education information on our website to where individuals can self-pace, learn at their own leisure, no matter where they're at.
mm.
There are those people that stay up till 2 in the morning because you can't sleep. You can take it then. You don't. It's not a requirement that an instructor has to be there for that sort of stuff. Um,
Okay.
and
Now,
then
if someone is interested in taking advantage of this program, which is very much needed, how are they to do so? And just give them the name of the website and all that good stuff. Go ahead.
So the website is strive, the number 4, YOU.org. There for the seed, it is limited information because we're working on adding more onto the website. So if you're a website person that wants to volunteer, we're not going to turn that away. But getting a hold of me is your best bet. And my email is seed.director@striveforyou.org. And yeah, that would be the best bet. Like, so we've already had people reaching out to us that want stuff for next year. I think I've got dates for even August of next year at this point. So if you're wanting an in-person thing, I can work with you to make that happen at some point.
Okay, so
And
you
we
go ahead. Go ahead.
and we also we train instructors in our program, so you can be we have 3 different types of instructors. We have a safety education specialist for those who want to help, spread the word about safety education, but aren't necessarily comfortable with the hands-on piece. And then we have our certified seed instructors that can teach the entire program. And then our advanced instructors that work to develop the curriculum, mentor the other instructors, and provide leadership and all those sorts of fun things. So there's an opportunity for that. We're kind of hoping to see if that'll turn into at least part-time, full-time employment for people. We'll
That's
see what
great.
happens.
Great, great. That's great. Now, for someone like me, just take for instance, if I was interested in going through your program and I'm in another state, how does that work? Would I have to come to you all, or y'all have chapters in various states? How does that work? Your
So
program.
we have instructors across the country. Our advanced instructors go from Georgia to California and then in between. So and then we have some of our certified instructors in
Mm,
training at this moment because we are a new program. But if there's an individual, we're going to do our best to pair you with somebody close to you, and then figure out a way to make that happen. Or if, for example, if depending on where you live, I think I had somebody reach out to once something in Chicago,
mm,
and so our thought is, because Strive for You does the peer-to-peer approach, so we get the challenges of transportation and cost and all those sorts of things.
mm.
And so we'd work with you to maybe organize a workshop or something like that, so not one person's paying for all the this, that, and the other.
Okay. And again, it's a nonprofit organization, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we
No,
very much are a nonprofit.
that's great, Amy. I mean, it's needed. I'm glad to have you on and talk about this because I had done a show on self defense, but the it wasn't that visual. The guy who was working with him, he was blind, and the instructor was blind, but they didn't do too much visual techniques and whatnot. And this is something that I'm glad I was able to present to the audience, so that if they want to take advantage of it, they can definitely can do so. I mean, I commend you and your colleagues on this. Do you have anything else you want to say before we move on to the other exciting thing that you want to talk about?
Um, just that we the main concern, I addressed the one touch thing, but the other part is people are like, how much is it for our Zoom stuff? It is reasonable for a 4-hour Zoom workshop with us. It's
Mm,
$25 per person. For a 6-hour, it's 35.
it's
we're
not bad
not
at all.
asking we're not asking for you to pay $100 or anything like that. because again, we have that peer to peer approach. I'm I've been on disability for many years myself.
I
I
understand.
get the
I
I
understand that
get the
wholeheartedly.
struggle.
What has been the
Mhm.
reception from this particular program? How how have the people come across in terms of giving you any backlash, or they've been acceptable in terms of wanting to be a part of it, or what has it been the reception?
Everybody is very excited.
Good.
Like I said, we get a lot of questions about is this one touch? Because the individuals who developed this program were former one touch coaches. But due to things I'm not going to get into, you got to talk to their board of directors.
Yeah.
But it was kind of one of those things. There was no moving forward, and we and Ricky and Christy, the founders of Strive, saw that because they were also coaches themselves, and we've worked with enough students to know that the need is so great that's the only real question we've really had is is this the same program? And when we say no, and when we tell them about the program, they just are like, yes, 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 I need
Okay.
this right now in my life.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. Well, moving on from self defense to another uh, important topic that I think is needed, especially in the visually impaired community, is makeup. Because a lot of blind people, I've ran through a lot of messages on Facebook in reference to blind people wanting to know how to put on makeup, how to use makeup, how can they find this, that, and you work in the well, you had done some work in the Mary Kay field, right?
Yes, so I've
Right.
been a Mary Kay consultant for 5 years now.
Mm,
Wow, I
okay.
can't believe it's been 5 years. Um, but I kind of tell people that I can teach you to kick butt and look good at the same time while you're doing it. So I've actually mixed some of my stuff before,
Okay.
because um, when people can master self defense techniques or makeup, their confidence just goes through the roof, and
That's
I and
true.
I love
That is
to
true.
I love to see that.
Okay.
So I've offered several Zoom workshops for blind individuals, to go from the basic of how to put on makeup, where to apply it on your
There you
eyes.
go.
Like
There you go.
I get a lot of questions about eyeliner or eyeshadow, what types of products, and I tell people that. Yes, I am a Mary Kay consultant, but that does not mean I'm going to cram it down your throat to be like, you have to buy this product.
Mm,
I kind of feel like, the product speaks for itself in some ways, but not everybody can, again, afford that. And so I just love that, Mary Kay has such a strong culture on training. And I'm fortunate enough to be involved in a team that they have really helped me build my confidence in being a blind beauty consultant, because I actually tried it several years ago and kept getting well, you're blind. How are you going to teach me makeup? And I let that get in my head. And when I started Mary Kay again, I was like, I have no problem calling people and asking people and stuff, but how do I handle that particular question? Like, you're blind. What are how are you going to teach me? And somebody that I very much love in the Mary Kay world told me, she goes, then they're just not your people.
mhm.
And it was so profound and simple that I just was like, you're right. Like, why am I focusing on the people who don't want to work with me when there are people out there who do?
That's
I've
right.
had sighted clients that have told me, you do your makeup better than I do. So obviously I can learn something from you. Like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
Or we've been at Mary Kay events to where my friend Nikki, who's also my team leader, she's my Mary Kay bestie, and people have asked her, oh, well, did you do your makeup? It looks, it looks really good on her. And she goes, no, she did that. Like, she didn't. I am not doing that.
Hmm. And a
She's
lot of
like,
people,
I help her from time to time, but that's about it.
a lot of people are in disbelief when blind people. Because I mean, just on a side note, a lot of things sighted people are still amazed and are in a state of awe when visually impaired individuals do things. And I'm just saying, and I tell them it's just the way of life. It's nothing new to them or different. It's just how they live. They just have to make ways to make it happen. And this topic here, makeup, is one that, like I said, I see a lot of people who are visually impaired females posting about and what have you, in terms of how they could, you still use makeup and are they're visually impaired. So you definitely can assist anyone who's interested in putting together makeup or putting on makeup. You can definitely give them some pointers or assist them. Am I correct?
Yes. So I'm good at recommending blind friendly products,
Good,
like cream
good.
eyeshadows, liquid eyeshadows. Those are real good because powders are messy, and I tell people, like there's different stages. You're not going to go in and do a full face of makeup on your first class without a lot of assistance. The other thing that I see that I really hope that people understand is when it comes to, I don't know how many posts I've seen about the makeup stuff, and they're like, well, my mom, sister, cousin, whoever, does well, they just, don't know how to teach me makeup, or they just won't. And those people, my heart breaks for them,
Mm-hmm.
because then they're, that person is setting the expectation for the blind individual that you're not worth teaching
That's right.
the skill to. um, and there are so many. There's quite a few blind Mary Kay consultants out there. I'm not the only one,
Ah,
and we kind of tell people there's a lot of blind people out there. So even as a Mary Kay consultant, it doesn't mean like, because I've had people do that. Well, I don't want to be a consultant. I don't want to take over your turf, and I'm like, there's a lot of blind people. I can't reach them all.
yep, yep, exactly. Well, I like what you said in the top of this particular topic about confidence, because females who are visually impaired, they some of them tend to lose some of their self confidence, not all of their self confidence, because they feel like, I want to still feel like a lady, womanly, and I still want to use my makeup, but as a blind person, I don't know how to do it. But by you giving them confidence and showing them, that definitely creates a sense of confidence, and still allow them to still feel like a young lady or a beautiful woman, to where they still can wear their makeup and still feel to themselves presentable and whatnot. So it does give them a sense of confidence, and that's what I like. I like that particular statement that you say. You want to comment a little bit more on that?
I I'm big on the confidence building, and I guess that's one of the reasons that I became sort of obsessed with working with the seed stuff, is because in my experience I've noticed that a short self defense class or a short makeup class, even after an hour, the confidence just goes through the roof. And with continuing ongoing practice and training, that
Mhm.
confidence blooms just beautifully. And that's one of the reasons, like with seed, we tell people that self defense is ongoing. You can't just take one class and think I'm a ninja and I'm gonna always be able to protect myself. It is like somewhat of a lifestyle change
Mhm.
to make more conscious decisions and things like that. And it's the same thing with makeup, skincare. It's that ongoing practice. Even myself, like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years, but over the last year I haven't really done a whole lot on the makeup side. So even myself, I'm like, I need a training. Like, I gotta connect with Nikki and
Yeah,
make this
get to
happen.
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man. I'm great. I'm glad that you are doing both of these things, because they are both needed in the visually impaired or blind community. I should have asked, like, at the top too, Amy. What is your vision acuity?
40 and fingers, I guess, is the last time they told me.
You I like your personality. So
um
uh,
I have Stargardt's,
mm,
and so I've been blind for 30 years. I used, and people would probably say I'm visually impaired. I went through in the last 6 years. I've really come to accept my blindness,
good.
and I don't use the word visually impaired, because I heard somebody say that within the blind community we're kind of segregating ourselves. And I've been like it. if you're visually impaired, or have some quote unquote some vision, for individuals who are totally blind, then you're still a sighty. But to the sighted world, you're blind.
Yep.
And then you have the, high partial, low partial, this, that, and the other. Like, it's blind. But for 25 years of my life, I'm not even gonna say my age, but a
Mm.
long time,
Yeah.
I was sort of still in that like denial, anger. I did not want to, just accept that, yes, I'm blind. And then once I did, it 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 made me more confident in putting myself out there. And that was about the time that I actually became a Mary Kay consultant, because I came to terms with my blindness. And of course, I still have vision changes. I've had some vision changes over the last year
Mm.
that have been interesting, but still being confident and trying to be as positive as I possibly can.
Well,
So.
I love your personality, and just from hearing you talk, it definitely shows that you have a great deal of confidence. And I wish I don't want to go too much off topic, but I wish that, because I've also seen in Facebook posts that people who lost their sight, they don't have the confidence. I don't know if if they've lost it like a couple of days, couple of years ago, whatever the case may be. But you know, I love hearing people like you and others talk about the fact that they've lost their sight and they've dealt with it and they accept it and they move on. Because the more you wallow in pettiness and sorrow, the more time that's lost and the more time you can use to exude that energy to other things. And I'm glad that you've had the ability to do thus, Lee. Do you have any last minute comments?
Um, I like, as far as the accepting thing, and again, I'm trying to get off topic, but like, it's one of the things we talk about in Seed is like,
Mm.
it's a grieving process, and everybody is at a different process when it comes to being diagnosed with any disability, and it's not just the individual themselves; it's the people in their lives. I don't know how many stories I've heard, like, and it even happened to myself. Once I was diagnosed, I lost a lot of friends.
Mm.
People were scared of me
Hmm.
and things like that. And of course, that was their denial stage. They're like, nope, she's not. She's not going to be a part of my life, and those sorts of things. So, um, accepting can take a long time. For me, it took 25 years.
Hmm.
Better late than never, though.
Well, at least I'm glad that you have this program, the seed program, that will help individuals who are not at that point of acceptance. And going through this program that Amy and her colleagues have put together can definitely create a great deal of confidence and just a certainty about yourself. So again, name the program again and give them the website, and we're gonna close out. And send me. I think you sent me the links already, but whatever else you want to send me through before I put it up, send it to me. Go ahead.
Okay. So Strive for You, Strive, the number 4, and then you.org. We are doing a little bit of a challenge internally now to get people to sign up for the newsletter. So it just requires your name and email there at the bottom of the website. And we'll be sending out information on when we start classes. And we're not one of those organizations that bombard you with email or with newsletters all the time.
I hate
We
that.
just want to send you stuff that's relevant. So, um, and then as far as reaching to me about the Mary Kay stuff, or any other blindness just questions, you can email me at blindamy13@gmail.com. I do have a YouTube channel that I've got some makeup stuff on, but not a whole lot, and it's called Blind Amy. And you can find me on anywhere on the social media as Blind Amy. And yes, I did steal it from Fat Amy. So.
Okay, and that's 2 words, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool. Okay, well, I'm gonna get the links and I'm gonna put them in the description. And I want to thank you again, Amy, with your great personality, for coming on the show. And this is your home, so anytime you have something that you want to promote, just give me a holler and we'll make it happen.
Love it. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much.